Long ago, after Draenor's explosion, a brutal pit lord named Magtheridin rallied the surviving orcs and took control of Outland. Since then, his forces have grown strong.
How, Master? If most of the orcs were killed when this world exploded, how has he bolstered his ranks?
By using the very portals that tore the planet apart. Many of Nerzul's dimensional gates still stand, young prince. Magtheridin lures scores of hapless demons through them daily.
Then we must seal them permanently.
Yes. We will seek out each of the gates, and I will close them myself. Once they have been sealed, we will move against Magtheridin's Black Citadel and claim Outland as our own.
We should move soon.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne. Ahead of us, we have another of these kind of hybrid-style base missions, where we have half human buildings and half Naga. Which makes this another nifty one. Illidan is going to spend a lot of his time in this mission, otherwise indisposed, because he has to be in these circles of power in order to close the dimensional gateways. So what we're going to do really early on here is allocate a lot of our resources to an expansion and to upgrades early on. We want to get the ball rolling on the upgrades as soon as possible. Upgrading is super important here. So the deal is, it takes 3 minutes of Illidan summoning or channeling the spell to close each dimensional gate. And while he does that, he is incapacitated and you have to protect him. So it's like a roaming series of defense missions. And while he's in the circle of power channeling, demons are going to be spilling non-stop out of the gateway. And the first one and even the second one are not that intense, but as you get to the third and the fourth, it becomes really difficult. Like, the level of opposition you face from the demons becomes a major challenge. Plus, there's a good chance that you're not going to have the watchtowers providing that extra little burst of DPS. That sustained bit of DPS, I should say. So again, upgrades become super important. Having enough resources to field a large army and constant reinforcements, really important. And then, as if all of that wasn't enough, you will also occasionally be attacked from the south and from the north by orc bases. So it's just a lot to contend with. You have to make sure you have that well-upgraded, large army, protecting Illidan. And then you also have to make sure that you have a decently sized army at home to deal with all that stuff. Just doing what we've been doing, leaving, you know, a handful of units at home and a couple of towers, that's really not gonna cut it here. Especially because of some of the nastier things that the orcs can bring with them, like dragons with splash damage. That's why a lot of the forces that we're going to leave back at the base here will be ranged units. It's going to be the Naga Snapdragons and the Archers especially. Cheap ranged units. And then once the threat from the dragons is kind of over, we'll give a couple of meat tanks, a few of the knights, the Silver Moon Knights, which are just basically footmen, some Spellbreakers, some Myrmidons, stuff like that. And now we also have a new Naga unit, which is that kind of flying manta ray looking thing that we saw earlier on in the Night Elf campaign. And we also have upgrades to did I say we have upgrades? We have access to Naga upgrades. So we can upgrade the damage and the armor of the Naga units, finally. So the base building and the base management for the Naga structures has actually gotten just a hair more complex than before. Also, we're going to put 2 towers up near the north entrance This is again to deal with flying stuff, namely the dragons I know are going to be coming. And let's just pump one more archer out here. We're getting a pretty hefty unit group. It's not bad. Finally start to move these out.
Very good.
I don't have a turtle, the siege unit, but that should be okay. This is actually kind of a weird unit comp that I'm moving out with.
Magtheridon's forces have besieged that Draenei village. If we drive them back, the Draenei will join us in our fight.
So the Draenei.
It shall be done.
This is Outland after all.
I feel edgy.
So the Draenei are native to this planet that we are on. And the portals that we're shutting down actually are what brought the orcs here. I may have misspoken and called it the orc native homeworld. The orcs got here through the use of these portals. Also, I think my flame strike was canceled. Huh, that sucks. It's actually very problematic too. Because it means we're taking extra damage from the tower and from the bunkers. This base is pretty hard to take, because there are like 4 or 5 of these clusters of bunkers and towers on top of the units, and the spiked fortifications. But it's useful that you take this, because Akama's group, while you don't get direct control over them, they do move out and sort of whittle some of the enemy orc forces down, and that takes a little pressure off of you. It's not the most useful thing in the world, but also I just think it's really valuable to do this quest just so you can meet the Broken / the Draenei and Akama himself, because they become rather important. And of course we have multiple fronts to fight on, which is a staple of some of the harder missions. They demand that... Why did he stop building? They demand you fight on multiple fronts at once. So eventually we will have that expansion going. Lost a couple down here, but not all that much sieging this base. Should lose a few more by the end of this. Then we'll get to the real meat of why Tornado's so useful, because it just rips through buildings, especially these entrenched fortifications, and gradually reinforce. Plus, I think this mission is kind of nifty for using the portals the way they do. If you notice, they're all modeled after the Dark Portal. They're miniature versions of it. And the Dark Portal is from Warcraft II. We got sort of a plot recap last time about the events of Warcraft II. Providing a giant gateway for the orcs who were on Draenor to flood Azeroth. And the opening of all these portals, especially the Dark Portal, tore this world apart. That's why everything is so busted here. Why the landscape is so Silent Hill-ish. Gonna continue to pump the Snapdragons and the Archers out here in preparation for Big Beastie coming through. And we hit low upkeep after we started the expansion, which is not bad. Making do with this kind of funky unicomp that I'm not used to. Usually like to have one of the dragon turtles with me here, and then just generally less squishy stuff. Like, I only got the Myrmidons in as reinforcements. Didn't have that many to start out with. I think this is alright, though. I mean, the Phoenix and the Naga Sea Witches provide so much value to you just by generating units. Rather, Kale generates the Phoenix from nothing, requiring no resources. And it's real powerful. You get to work. You can also get to work, build 2 more, and be good. And there is the dragon. So this is normally the problem. This is where I normally run into trouble if I have not prepared correctly. If you're just thinking, well, I'm going to keep a well-balanced unit composition, a well-balanced unit group back in the base to deal with anything that may come, you probably don't have enough ranged units or anti-air units to deal with that problem efficiently. So the dragon just wreaks havoc in your base until you can produce enough to deal with it, or until you pull your main force back from destroying the orange base here. Why did this Spellbreaker come from the north? And then there's still this encampment of bunkers and towers here. It's a really well-fortified base. We lost a lot, and a lot of our units were whittled down just coming in here. Actually, really need to take that down. Spike fortification does not help either. There we go. I don't think I need to use that tornado, but eh. We're mining, dealt with the dragon without losing too much. Now is when you want to start balancing out the composition in your base.
I am Akama, Elder Sage of the Draenei. Lord Illidan promised to rid us of our ancient enemies in exchange for our loyalty. These cursed orcs serve Magtheridon, a terrible lord whose black citadel lies to the west. Under his command, the orcs hunted us to the brink of extinction. But now, with Lord Illidan behind us, we will fight back and retake our ancestral lands.
We also serve Illidan, Old One.
Very well, stranger.
So now there's no danger of the Draenei village being assaulted and destroyed. And the benefit of that is they will occasionally move out with a large force to attack some of the orc bases. They stand no real chance of doing any significant damage to the orc bases unless you accompany them, in which case they just make it easy to destroy those bases, but we don't actually have to do that.
Hey, sailor.
And personally, I think it's a lot easier and possibly faster to leave them be and just leave a group home to defend the occasional attacks. What is going on up here? Oh, they were on our way and an archer was moving out to join Kale's group. Like this is much easier, and we wind up losing fewer units.
Our forces must hold them back while we search for the dimensional gate.
Whoops, whoops, whoops. Dump me and go there. I want to go further south.
I'll do my best. My pleasure. I'll do my best.
We can deal with these though. But the main benefit that doing the optional quest here provides you is that when Akama moves out with his forces, they're going to focus down units first and foremost. And then you'll get attacked by whatever's left over immediately after. So he and the native animals of Draenor and the other broken ones, the other Draenei,
What's the holdup?
they will just thin out the orcs that you have to defend from back at home. I think the intent is probably that you go and help him assault the base, but I don't find it necessary to destroy the dark green base.
Don't be afraid.
Yes, my friend.
By land or sea.
Destroying the orange base also has another benefit in that it makes it really fast to reinforce to this circle of power. So we're popping Metamorphosis here with Illidan because may as well use it now because he's going to become unusable later. So this will just reduce the damage that we have to take clearing this out and speed this up a little bit. Again, like there's no need to hold on to cooldowns because he's about to be stuck channeling for a few minutes.
Elusive.
I grow impatient.
We have our castle upgrade on the way so we can get those tier 3 damage upgrades. We have money flowing in now, which is great.
Magtheridin has called in his reinforcements.
My people must be avenged.
This portal is not too bad, but you want to build up a significant snowballing kind of lead by the time you get here.
Don't be afraid.
Because once you hit the 3rd and the 4th portals, things can go downhill swiftly.
Cleanse this land.
My song is yours.
attack.
I sense something.
So ideally, if this goes well, and I don't completely fuck any of these fights up,
Fight on, my warriors.
I will get about a minute into the final gate and then be able to pull all of the units that are in my base for reinforcements. And then I will also have about 2 unit groups with Illidan. So I'll have 3 total unit groups when I need them really badly at the 4th portal. This is another hard attack wave simply because they have a Blade Master. And they have these very powerful Chaos Orcs. That's the other thing that just makes this dangerous in general, is you're not dealing with regular Orcs. They're all the Chaos Orcs, the ones that drank the blood of Manaroth and never really looked back. So we just have to determine which one's real. And the best way to do that is just to look and see which one is doing damage. Which is this one. I think I misclicked with the towers. You need to get back.
Right away. Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, that's big losses, but you kind of expect that with the Blade Master wave. And you expect that with this mission in general. You expect to lose a lot. Hey, we're working our upgrades. We have a pretty diverse army now. You kind of need a little bit of everything. Say priests and the other range units are especially useful. Myrmidons, you need something on the front lines.
More lumber is required.
Now we are kind of lumber limited. So the main use of the Naga harvesters, the Naga worker units, is just to be your lumber harvesters in this one. Oh, actually, hopefully that lumber upgrade that we got from the lumber mill applies to them. I think that's just all lumber that you receive? Ooh, now that I think about it, I hope that's true. It's too late. I already trained all the units. No looking back now. Nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume it is.
It shall be done.
I'm blind, not deaf.
And possibly be wrong about that.
It shall be done.
Very nice that they give you the healing fountain there, in case you need it after a long, strenuous fight. Now we're going to move out, and we're actually going to go back to base. But first, we're going to park right outside of the Dark Green base, because they should be attacking any second now. So we can just intercept them with our main force.
My pleasure.
Just draw a line across the hill.
Research complete.
And then we'll give it a few seconds, see if they move out. And if they do, crush them right away. If not, go back to base. See, we have our archer damage upgrade.
Build more farms.
We have most of the ancillary upgrades I want, like the first level of the priest training, which gives them more mana and mana regeneration.
Move soon.
Our archer damage upgrade. We have all that good stuff. So now I'm just going for straight damage and armor upgrades. It looks like I was wrong. The dark green orcs did not immediately move out like I thought they would. Nope. I just want to pull you back. For some reason, I thought it was always immediately after being attacked by Akama's group that they moved out. May still come in a little bit.
Very good.
Ah, there they are. I think. Yep.
I feel edgy.
It's not even that big of a force. We have enough lumber for that yet? Yep, we'll just queue that up because we almost have the tier 3 melee damage upgraded.
No, not like that.
And since we've been lumber constrained, this is actually... Why did we never finish that farm? Huh. I think I may have pulled him to repair a tower or build a new tower. The benefit of floating this much gold, because we have been bottlenecked on lumber, is that we can go back to base now, and there is an arcane vault available, which was available from the outset. And the Arcane Vault is the equivalent of the Ancient of Wonders. It's the building for humans that functions as a shop. And I wasn't seeing a scroll of healing, and that's really the main thing I want to buy with this excess gold. Ivory Towers might be useful at the end. Oh, let's get 2 of those at least. Yeah, we like splash damage. Do we have any AoE healing at all? Man, AoE healing's a big one. Is this AoE? Yes, all friendly minions. Buy at least that one. Let's also bring Kale in and get one of those regen scrolls. Armor, like scrolls of protection, scrolls of healing would have been nice. Also get some mana and some health for him. There's a good chance we wind up losing heroes by the end of this. We're doing pretty well though. This mission is going much better for me right now than it usually does. And I think this mission is kind of one of extremes. If you get on the back foot early on, then it becomes extremely difficult to ever catch up, and things snowball out of control. But if you do a pretty good job early on, and you're careful and you're attentive to your resources and your upgrades, and you get that online very quickly, then it can go the exact opposite way, where you just snowball out of control.
My song is yours.
Kale, cover me while I attempt to close this gate.
Once again, we're going to pop Metamorphosis because he can't use it while he's channeling, so may as well use it now. And even the defenses at the gate before we've even started the ritual have gotten a lot tougher. We're dealing with way stronger units now, including these succubi, who are no joke at all. They even started the fight off by silencing a bunch of our units. That's what the little exclamation in the speech bubble over the heads of the priest means. We haven't really had to deal with silence all that much, and we have a second dragon, but we're even better prepared for this one than we were before. The big problem with the dragons are the splash damage, really. Is the splash damage. We have enough for these Naga upgrades. And with the Naga, you don't have like ranged and melee damage upgrades, ranged and melee armor. You just have straight up one set of armor upgrades, one set of damage upgrades. Start the ritual and immediately have to deal with some strong stuff. Banish and Fork Lightning as a nuke combo does the trick quite handily.
Gate is opening. More demons are charging through.
Another nice synergy that Kale gets with his own Banish. The Phoenix that he summons for his ultimate does magic damage. So just Banish and Phoenix alone, even if you don't intend to Flame Strike or Fork Lightning them with Vash, that alone is pretty potent. And then you also get the magic damage from like your priests, but generally you would rather have them just auto-casting their heals.
Gate is collapsing. Defend Lord Illidan.
In a pinch, they can do the trick, though. Let's get that Flame Strike going. I think we're sufficiently pulled back from that. It's almost only hitting enemies. Very, very nice. So this wave is where things start to get hard, but it's going really well.
Research complete. Research complete.
And then by the fourth one, it's just Infernals and Doom Guards and all of the hardest minor demons to deal with. Again, the Succubi and stuff. The Eridar, which is that thing that looks a little bit like Archimonde or Kill Jaden. That's what an Eridar is. Oh, and the flame strike right at the spawn point is so nice.
I sense something elusive.
Now, we will spend our resources as we get them. By the end of this, one of our gold mines should just be collapsing.
My pleasure.
That's kind of the timing that we are looking to hit.
I'll do my best. Outstanding.
Oh, they're attacking some of the parasites from the sea witches. Bought us a little bit of time to chill at the mana fountain and recover a little bit. In fact, we can take the fight over here, and now the priests have no problem. Ooh, well, we are grouped up for this. It's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Tornado did the job, though. Interrupted the rain of fire. Not an ideal flame strike, though. Whoops. This is still very, very good, though. Yeah, the Eridar now, they aren't the normal unit Eridar either. You can see they have a purple glow beneath them. That indicates that it's a hero. That's the hero glow. So it has access to more abilities than the normal Eridar caster units. Like that red chain lightning looking thing was Finger of Death, which is just a super high damage nuke. Still a little bit tight on lumber, but we can dump a lot of our gold into just either the low lumber cost archers or the footmen, which costs nothing. Nothing in terms of lumber, anyway. That gives us some frontline power too.
I'll do my best. Outstanding.
Now we have one more portal left, and we're doing okay with this army. We're doing okay with it. And the important thing is, after one more orc attack, we can pull the unit group that we have back at home. And we instantly have an army that's almost twice the size. Oh, we're finally food capped.
Hey, sailor.
More or less.
What's the holdup?
So now we'll be able to just build resources up and instantly
My pleasure.
remax.
It shall be done.
Instantly, being a little bit hyperbolic. We'll be able to remax and replace units as they die really quickly. And we almost even have the final level of all the Naga upgrades as well. Forgot about this neutral camp here. And take care of them really quickly. Because otherwise, they will kind of pick off the straggling reinforcements as they stream in. That's no good. Oh, that's why. I have my Phoenix set to follow Kale. But the deal with it is it burns itself out. So it's rapidly losing health, and then it goes into its egg form when it dies, and then emerges as a new Phoenix.
I'll do my best.
So if I have it on follow, and it dies, turns into an egg, and respawns, it doesn't retain the follow command.
I feel edgy.
But another one of these hero Eridar. Let's see if we can pull just the dragons first. So far, so good. I think as units get closer, they're going to aggro. Yes, they did.
Do not fear the demons, King. In time, they will call you master.
And you can see just from the general level of the things defending the portal how much more serious this one is going to be. This is a bunch of these nether dragons, or nether drakes, a bunch of doom guards, and an Eridar hero. So right away, this is telling you that this is going to be a real fight.
We should move.
On your mark. My son.
You know what else we have that we can set up specifically to give us a hand on this fourth defense that'll tip the scales in our favor a bit? We have those ivory towers that we picked up from the Arcane Vault.
Outstanding.
And I believe, yeah, the light spots are buildable terrain. So these scout towers will go up almost instantly, and then we can just upgrade those to lookout towers. What are they called? Guard towers? Yeah.
I will not be trifled with.
Do we want a cannon? Yeah, guard towers work. Because our stuff is going to be so clustered that we will probably do more
Sense something.
harm than good with cannons. So around the 2-minute mark is when I'm going to pull the unit group from back home.
My people
And at
must
that
be
point,
avenged.
we should be absolutely fine. If need be, we will just throw bodies in front of Illidan to buy him time. We can lose our base at this point. It doesn't matter that much. It would just suck to not have the reinforcements. So far, so good, though.
What's the holdup?
The more you have down here, the less of a chance you have of getting overwhelmed because you just pick things up before they're pick things off before they're even in range to start really doing damage.
Hold fast, my warriors. Our victory is at hand.
So their forces never really build up and become all that dangerous. I don't think we're getting another orc attack. I'm starting to feel that way. Even if we do.
What's the holdup?
Plus, fighting around the towers is going to make this that much easier. Oh, look at that go.
Elusive.
It's just a high health, sustainable unit, basically, for the purpose of this fight. Oh, we also do have the mercenary camp,
Point the way. Fair enough.
so we can actually reinforce instantly if we lose somehow an entire maxed out army. We can just walk Vasher Kale down to the mercenary camp, and there's no training time on the mercs. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I don't think that's going to be necessary.
Elusive.
Never say never.
I feel edgy.
Starting to get infernals, which are big problems.
My pleasure.
But we have
Vengeance.
1 minute left to go for Illidan. So not bad. Man! These succubi with the unholy aura that are just running up and death coiling him. They're just like kamikazing him. That's problematic.
We should move soon.
You can only take about 5 or 6 of those. But yeah, we're only doing this well because of how we allocated our resources. We went hard on the upgrades in this one. Everyone, including all the Naga units, are 3/3s now. We went and we got all of those items from the arcane vaults. We were really careful with what we put where. We expanded almost right away, like 4 minutes into the mission. It's very easy to forget to just do one of those things and to have this whole mission collapse on itself.
Must be avenged.
It's a really tricky one, I find.
Speak.
And this is only on normal.
What's the holdup?
We've done it, Master. The dimensional gates are all sealed. There's no way for McTheridan to call reinforcements now.
True, but his standing forces are still considerable. Assaulting his black citadel will not be easy, Gale.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Alright, thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.